Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome once again to a live stream for Love Entrepreneurs, the Love Entrepreneurs show starring Ellery Coslet. And of course, today we have a special guest of Al Price, the brand Transformers. And we're talking all about the Big Fix. Ellery, before we get started, can you explain to me what is the Big Fix and why is that such an important part of Love Entrepreneurs?
Well, Thank you, Al. Thank you, Al. Thank you, Al, for coming, and thank you, Gareth, for hosting. Yes, so the Big Fix is the secret sauce, if you like, of Love Entrepreneurs. It's where it all starts. And it started because I experienced something similar myself many years ago, and I was totally blown away by loads of ideas that I got from other people. And I thought to myself, what a wonderful way of creating a really loving feedback opportunity for people, but based on ideas. They come to the Big Fix, they have a problem, free to do, they've got a problem, and they can actually share their problem with people and then ask the audience, random entrepreneurs, to come along and to give them ideas. And these ideas, it's really important that these folks have nothing to do with the business, because that is what creates the transformation. Because sometimes it's these ideas from absolutely nowhere at all that make the difference, always. And I was just talking before we came on stage that this is not a mastermind group with the same old people there week in, week out criticizing. It has nothing to do with that. I don't want to be associated with being a mastermind group. This is supposed to be a community. Well, it's actually a fellowship of people who really want to support each other, right? We're very like-minded, all of us, aren't we, Al? Big me up here. And we do share some common values. We genuinely turn up for each other. We genuinely want to support each other. We don't just talk about it or say it, we do it. Sorry, psycho fault. Probably best to ask Al, because I dragged him along, so somebody who did the Big Fix, so he might have had a really shitty experience.
That was actually going to be my next question. Al, I would very much like to pass the talking stick to you. If you could explain your feelings going into the Big Fix and what you feel you got out of it.
Yeah, going into the Big Fix, it was one of those. Ellery did put my mind at ease. That again, it's not like some boardroom table where I'm going to be absolutely interrogated. It was comfortable. It was nice. There's a good interaction around the room. You got to introduce yourself. Say what you were all about. With me and what I do, it's very visual anyway. So it was a great opportunity for me to share my screen and actually share the work that I do and have done for clients for a number of years now. So that was brilliant. And then to get, the questions in that came in after that, because that's the first part of it. You get asked and people probe to find out more about you. And then it goes into looking at some maybe some solutions for you as well, which I found really useful on the day.
Ellery, it seems to me that everyone could use a Big Fix to give themselves reflection on where they are and where they want to get to.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I encourage people to. I'm always surprised that people aren't queuing up to do these things by the door. You have to sort of not coerce, but you just do have to gently cajole people to do it. And I think it is they do think that they're going to be stood up to scrutiny, but the whole objective is that we want them to succeed. I set this up myself because I was so bored with everybody trying to sort of fakely help other people, but not really being interested in helping other people or supporting other people or using other people. What they're interested in is themselves, right? And we're all about, look, we have to serve and help others first before ourselves. I think that part of, we're sort of quite a spiritual community, I think, in many ways. We attract like-minded people who genuinely want to help others. Now, seeing what was really excellent about Al's Big Fix, actually, if I may say so, I thought, was the fact that he could demonstrate very clearly the difference between what was with a so-called professional previously to what he did. Now, there's a reason for this. Al isn't just also to a graphic designer. Al has worked at the highest level in business as a brand creative director, and that really showed through. That level of experience really showed through. And it's going to take time, but I think we're seeding things down now with, look, it's worth investing in somebody that's going to get it absolutely bang on first time and get it really rocking for you. It's no, because otherwise what's going to happen is you're going to be paying somebody else 20 times more to get it wrong every single time. That's the difference between using somebody who's been doing it for 5 minutes and someone who is a true professional in their field. I mean, Al's worked for many different leading agencies. You've worked for, well, you can. I mean, I want you to talk about the brand. You know, you're not just, you are a brand transformer. You know, you really are.
Yeah.
I think some of the agencies you've worked with, and perhaps tell other people some of the experiences you've done that may let them understand why you understand your branding so well.
Yeah, I guess agency-wise, if you're not actually in the agency world, you might not have heard of some of the agencies. So I can mention like McCann Erickson, BDH, which were part of like GGT, which is a big London agency as well. And I've worked in McCann Erickson, Manchester and Bristol as well. But it's the accounts really. So if you look at things like Peugeot, you look at British Gas, you look at Thomson Holidays, who then changed to TUI, and accounts like that, then people can relate to those things more and the size of account that I was working on, and those sort of accounts, they come with much bigger budgets, of course, so, and they took me across the world doing photo shoots and art directing, different kind of things like commercials and things like that. So it's really good, but for me, it doesn't matter the size of budget. It's all about standing out. You can have a massive budget and still piss it up against the wall. Pardon my French. Can we pass the watershed for swearing? Let's get up with that one. But it's like there's so much stuff out there that just gets ignored. I think it's
one question I wanted to ask you, because I think I know the answer to this, but it's obvious to me that when people are buying you, they're buying that experience. So when you've worked on accounts like British Gas, Peugeot, some of the banks, you've got so much history there of what works and what doesn't work with customers, what lands, what doesn't land. I know people say, oh yeah, but times have gone, times have changed. Well, not that much actually, because we're still human. We haven't changed, right? We haven't become alien yet.
Exactly, Ellery. The punch has always remained the same. The rest of it is the technology might have changed, from painting in caves in the early days to
I don't know what I deserve to suddenly see Ellery do an orangutan impression, but there we go. Moving on.
AI now, but still, you've still got the same punter buying it, so you've you've got to hit their pain points, and the rest of it, like the AI, like the Macintosh, the programs, the Canva, whatever people want to work in, they're just tools. You've still got to. It's what's up here. It's the human intelligence, really, and the way of connecting with your customers and getting them seen in a different way to what everybody else is doing, really.
Was the Peugeot ad, it's just going through my mind now, was that the one with the flames and take my breath away?
I'd love to be able to pin my myself to that particular flag mast, but no, that was Peugeot, I think 405, but that was done by the London agency.
Don't be too honest.
I've got to be very honest on here. But it was more the press ads that we did in the Manchester operation. So
but it was the Peugeot ad, wasn't it? Yeah, but it was the Peugeot ad that did the take my breath away.
I think cornfield, yeah.
Really, really good good idea. But you're right, it's the punters, isn't it? And Gareth, you get this too, no doubt. And the idea, though, I guess behind the Big Fix is twofold, really. It's a great opportunity for you to be able to market yourself, for people to be able to market what they do to people under the guise of, oh, I need help. Because, you know, let's be honest, most people come to the Big Fix with the problem of, I need more clients. But they never say that, do they? They never say, I need more clients. You know, desperado, you know, but that's the truth, right? Because we all need more clients, you know. And what's interesting is then, that is a great question, because we can then look at, well, how are you marketing? What are you saying to people? And what you did at the Big Fix, I thought was excellent. You could show people clearly, right, this is what it was, and this had been done so-called professionally, right? And this is what I did. And the cost was, you know, minimal compared with the impact. And what struck me was the impact was so, yeah, that's the difference. If you want the Rolls Royce, then it's, I mean, you know, ours prices are not huge. You know, you're paying 400 quid a day. And if you're members of Silvertree, you can pay 200 in silver, 200 in cash. But in that day, you will probably transform that brand. You know, for example, what better? I mean, 400 quid is nothing compared with the actual return on investment you're probably going to get.
And what do you get for that £400, Al? Oh, it's rather not for £400. Forgive me. Sorry. What do you get for your? What is that end result that they get after working with you? So someone said, "I need you to transform my brand." What are they going to get out the other end?
Every job's different, really, Gareth. So it's like, you know, it might be £400, it might be £800, it might be a 2-day job, it might be a 3-day job. So all depends on.
I'm not focusing on the price.
Depends on the problem, but basically, it's the end result, Gareth, is that it's going to be far better than what they came in with. They'll get hopefully beyond their expectations, is what I like to do. It's almost like when you watch the house programs and you look at a dingy old room, and then by the end of it, as long as Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen hasn't worked on it, it's going to be a beautiful, spacious palatial.
I won't have a word said against my Lawrence.
But you know, you get it, don't you? It's like it's almost like the before and after. You know, there's like, God, I didn't realize you could do it with it would turn up like this, you know. So that's why I call myself the brand transformer. I do like to show before and afters on my LinkedIn in the featured. There's a few there that I would have done recently, and again, it just gets it over very quickly, very visually, what it became, and then the clients get it. And I think that's what Ellery was saying, really, that people can get it very, very quickly, what I can do for their brands, really.
Yeah,
that's excellent.
There was one, can I just mention, there's one that came on to do the Big Fix, actually, Buffalo. They are a payroll company, right? And I've never seen anybody be so enthusiastic about payroll before. It was absolutely amazing. But the branding was absolutely, it was Buffalo, wasn't it? The brand was a buffalo right behind them. There you go. Yeah. And
I mean, this is a brochure I actually put together, but we did a whole big old stand at Excel in London. And again, it was to get immediate attention, attract attention, make impact, and we did that right across everything, with the stand to the brochures, you know, to the merchandise that was on there as well, even what they were wearing as well. You know, people were asking, "Can we buy your t-shirts?" You know, with just the design of the t-shirts.
It looks like a very cool brand now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's from payroll, right? But that's what that is an example. That's a brilliant example. So that struck out for me, you know, sort of, because it's funky, it's attractive. You're attracted to the energy of the colors. You're attracted to the visuals. Almost what they do is a secondary thing. You just get sort of, but just sort of what you want. You want to create that attention, don't you? But that was a brilliant. That's the you know, there we go. That and the outcome of the Big Fix. I mean, we haven't even asked you, Al, what did you think of the Big Fix? I mean, what did you get out of it?
I thought it was great. I mean, there's all sorts of people come onto the Big Fix from all, you know, different size companies, and you get an array of views. Some are useful, some might not be as useful, but there's lots of things that, you know, it got me thinking about to use my network more. You know, obviously over 30 years in advertising, I know, you know, photographers, copywriters, illustrators, all sorts of people that I can bring in to help people. So rather than, you know, just my skills, working the network that I've built up over these years. So that was a great idea, you know. So then you can offer your client more of an unbundled kind of service, you know, whereas if they want to buy into the whole full agency bit, I've got it covered. If they just want a certain part of that, like copywriting and art direction, again, I can offer them that, and working into that sort of thing. So that was great advice that I got from them. But even in putting myself forward, there was, you know, the kind of feedback said that I'm quite a personable person, which is good. And they said, why aren't you doing video? And I said, because it's video. It's like this today.
But Al, if you can stand up in front of people and you can expound on the whys and the wherefores of good branding and get people riled up and full of vim and vigor, then doing it on video, in many ways, is easier. You and I should spend some time talking. But anyway, that's not.
No. But you know, I was answering the question, Gareth. But the fact that was a suggestion, and I have taken it on board. So
good man.
Every Tuesday, you'll find me giving a top-tastic tip on a Tuesday on LinkedIn.
A top-tastic tip.
A top-tastic tip on a Tuesday, and it might even be on the top of a tour next week in Glastonbury. So that's what I'm thinking. I might go to the top of the tour to do the top-tastic tip on a Tuesday on the top of the tour next week.
So the top-tastic tip on a Tuesday. How much alliteration can you fit in one sentence?
Absolutely fabulous. So,
fantastic.
They're going down really well, and I've asked people to hold me accountable. So I haven't, since the big fix, I haven't missed one Tuesday with that. So every Tuesday, I'm there, boom, doing my top-tastic tip.
That's
Ellie,
interesting.
Would you summarize, please, for me?
Summarize Al, summarize the big fix, summarize
today's meeting.
Well, listen, we've had some top-tastic tips from Al himself. I would say, you know, the point of the big fix is, look, come and explore. It's through connecting each other's minds, because we haven't changed. We're humans. We're not humanoids yet, so we haven't changed. So how we react to things is probably the same as it was many, many years ago. The tools have changed, as Al said, but, you know, the fundamentals of how we react, we form tribes, right? We follow tribes. So come and explore. Doing a big fix doesn't cost you anything. We'll even look at, you know, if you want implementation help thereafter, you can have it. If you want help with funding your business, you can have it. But the first step for you guys is just take that first step and do the big fix. It's free to do, and let it, you use it, implement it into your business.
Thank you so much for
ideas. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Al, for attending today's Love Entrepreneur Show. As ever, Ellery, thank you for making this even into sharper focus. And to all of those of you out there who are interested in taking that first plunge, because it can really change everything, please, could you scan the QR code, the bottom left, that says loveentrepreneurs.com. If you scan that, it'll start you off on your process. I guarantee you'll come out a better person.
Your protest, that's so funny. It's, come on, rebels, we need you. We need you.
I'm rebel rousing here, damn it.
Let's create something from nothing. That's what we love to do. We create something, you know, we have the brand transformers here, we have the people, we have our own currency, we've got the knowledge, as they said.
Everything you could need. All right. So it just remains for me to say thank you so much, Ellery. Thank you so much, Al. And to you out there watching, please keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. Who knows? You might catch the moon. And look after your mental health. Until next week. Bye-bye now.